Hi guys, welcome to our video for Module 1B. It's all about the command in Dreamweaver called Manage Sites. Now in that first module we did a single simple page, straight HTML done in a text edit application. And that's probably the last time that we'll write straight HTML in text from scratch like that. Most of the time this semester we'll be dealing with Dreamweaver. We will be dealing with a fair amount of HTML as we go along, but hopefully we'll get that in bite-sized pieces, and we'll utilize Dreamweaver's design view and code view to kind of learn our way around. Now you might be looking for a guided tour of Dreamweaver itself right about now, but we'll kind of do that one piece at a time. And if you look under your Dreamweaver menu bar, either at the top of your window on Mac or at the top of your Dreamweaver window in PC, you'll see this item called Site, and under that, Manage Sites. What that's all about is telling this copy of Dreamweaver on this machine where the root folder for this site is located, where the pages are in that root folder, where the graphics are in that root folder, so that it can properly write a link to everything. Like, for example, if I click on an image, like this image that I've placed in the header, it's going to write a path to that. It's going to say, hey browser, look in the same folder where this document is. There's a folder called images. Look in that images folder. There's a graphic called header1b.png, and display that one here. If that link is broken, if that images folder is missing, or if it's outside of this same folder or something, this link isn't going to work, and you'll get the little broken link symbol in here rather than the image that you wanted. You may have to do this more than once. If you're working on your site in the lab and you've got a little root folder here, and then you pack that up onto your flash drive, take that home, work on your machine at home or on your laptop, whatever other machine you're working on, you've got to open up the copy of Dreamweaver there and do Site, Manage Sites on that machine, and tell Dreamweaver where that root folder lives so that it can still write this proper link for you. So for this assignment, you're going to make a 4-page site. Sounds a little daunting at first, but I've got 3 pages pre-made for you. That's on our MGD 141 D2L page, on the home page of D2L under News. In the News section, I've got a little .zip file for you there, and you can right-click on that .zip file, download it to your desktop. You'll get something along this line, yourname_1b.zip, and you can either double-click or right-click on that and open it with, a decompression application. And once you do that, you'll get a regular old folder with these pages in there: index.html, interests, food. I've got a 4-page site. It's autobiographical or fictional, you decide. But these pages are pre-made, and then you'll save out a 4th page called Travel. So how does Dreamweaver know what to do with these? Well, again, we'll go under Site and Manage Sites. Once you've got that folder on your desktop, then back in Dreamweaver, we'll go under Site, Manage Sites, and we'll create a new site called yourname_1b, which I had done previously in a rehearsal. Let me remove that, and I'll do that again. Okay, so I'll get a new site, and I'll call it yourname_1b. And you, of course, will use your actual name, because I want to know from the zip file and the folder whose file I'm dealing with. So please do type in your own name _1b. So that'll also help me keep it straight which assignment is which. And basically all that this asks you for is, where's your root folder, your local site folder. And in my case, it's on my desktop, and on this system of Mac, that's under Places here in this menu bar on the left, Desktop. Your name 1B. There's my root folder, so I'll just hit Choose. And so Dreamweaver is all set. It knows where to look for the root folder, and it knows, based on that, how to write all these links that it's going to write for me. So I'll hit Save. And before I hit Done, actually, there are later on some advanced settings that you can use. There can be much more to this Manage Sites than just this, but for now, for this assignment, if you get it named and you go find your root folder, it will write your links correctly. And that's all we need for this assignment. And now I'll hit Done. And then it opens up the Files panel for me, and it shows me where all those files are that are in this managed site. So I've got a couple of choices to open these. I can go under File and get Open, and then navigate to my desktop and my root folder and open up a page that way. I'll get my index page. Or I could go under this Files panel that opened up for me after I managed the site. Or if you don't see that, that's under Window, Files right there. And I can open up a page by double-clicking from my Files panel. Or, of course, the good old open up your folder. And let's see what's left, my Interests page. And I'll double-click on that to, whoops, now that opened up in Safari because there's an instruction on here that says that you see an HTML page and it gets clicked on, open it up in Safari. So I can drag that down to Dreamweaver. There we go. Important to know the difference. Sometimes you may be in a hurry and open it up in Safari and wonder why you can't edit the text like so. That would be why, because it's not open in Dreamweaver. There are some things that you'll change on each page. Let's start off with that index because it's a little bit puzzling. I've got my page is named History. If I go to these links, you know, if I open this up in a browser, I can click on Interest, Food, Travel. That one's not there yet, which we'll have you create that in a moment. Or History. I can click on History. I link to History, but it goes to get my index page because the first page in any website, the file name is called index.html. That's so the browser will know where in this folder to look for the first page. It's just a standard protocol, index.html, not my index page, not index1, not index with any spaces or anything, all lowercase, no spaces, index.html. Just that plain, just that simple. And then from there, you can put whatever headline you want on it. You can title the link whatever you want to on it. This title that shows up in your browser is in Dreamweaver officially called the title, and that information is right here. You can type in your name, apostrophe S, history, or whatever you decide to title this page. Probably something with your name in it, probably something that gives us a little bit of a clue as to what's on the page. And when you do that, that's what appears up on the title of your browser. This can be important because this title information is searchable. You've heard of search engine optimization. This is one of many, many things that you need to do to optimize searches. Pick a unique and descriptive title. Doesn't have to be a long title, just unique and descriptive to title your page. And that actually shows up in the HTML of your page somewhere up here in the head data. There we go, title. And by virtue of typing it in this field in Dreamweaver, Dreamweaver has placed that here in this title tag in the HTML. Also, what I'd like you to do on each page is highlight the name here, type in your own name. You can change the title of each page a little bit, customize it a little bit, and of course, you'll want to enter some text as instructed on each page. It's not so much that I need to know something about your life specifically. It can be real, fictional, you know, whatever you like. The point is that you're typing in a couple of paragraphs and having that experience. There are some special features that you're asked to do for higher grades on here. When you do that, there's also a field that you can highlight and tell me what you did, just so you'd be sure that I noticed, because I could miss it. But first, some more of the basics. I've got these 3 pages that I showed you. You're going to create a 4th page. Now, there are many different ways in Dreamweaver to create a page. Just so you know, these pages with their kind of fancy rollovers, these were created in Dreamweaver by just doing Command N or File New. That's up here on your Dreamweaver menu, File New. And it gives you this dialog box, New Document. If you hit on Blank Page and HTML, it gives you a list of various pre-made documents. And that's where I got these. And that's what they looked like at the onset. And I changed them out a little bit. I put a graphic up in the top, changed out the colors just a little bit. Definitely put your own name here. Feel free to use this graphic if you like, or definitely if you like, find out how to change this out. This is here under CSS styles. It's under header, and this is I think one of the special features you could do for a little bit more. I've got a background image there. You can link to a separate background image if you like. Click on this little pencil at the bottom of that menu, and here you can browse to get that image. Now this is part of Manage Sites. By virtue of managing this site, it takes me to the Images folder inside my local site root folder. It takes me right there by virtue of managing sites. When I click on an image, it writes a nice short little URL here. Universal Resource Locator, URL, Universal Resource Locator. It says, hey browser, stay in the same folder with this document, interest.html, stay in the same folder, and that it says all that by not saying anything else right here. First thing it lists is images, and it's telling the browser in this same folder, go to a folder called images. There's a slash, and it's telling it in that folder you'll find a document called header.png. That's the one that we want to display here. You can put your own image inside this images folder and link to that. Regular old JPEG is fine. Any old JPEG image. If you're a Photoshop maven, you'll want to deal with the size. If not, we'll probably forgive you for that this time around. And we'll deal more with Photoshop in a couple of weeks here. 3 or 4 weeks actually. But you can choose your own photo. And again, this was found in CSS styles, which is under Window. CSS styles right there. And the style that we want to change is the header. There's a background image that I put in there, and to change it, you select header, click on this little pencil, and you get this dialog box where you can browse for another image. Now you'll want to have that image placed in this images folder inside your root folder, before you go doing this. You want to be prepared. But that's how you might do that. Let's take a look at these links. We can link to history, interests, food, and again, I tried to link to travel. It's trying to link to a page called travel.html, which does not yet exist in this root folder or anywhere else for that matter. In a few short weeks, we'll talk about some other ways to create new pages. For this assignment, you can use the good old save as, just much like you would with other applications. So if you've got a page open like interest.html, you can go under your Dreamweaver menu and go up to File and get Save As. And I'll just type in travel, travel.html. Why am I being so particular? Whoops, it's already said .html, didn't it? Watch out for that. Why am I being so particular? Only because I already have a link specified here. If I highlight this word travel, these are links. We'll talk more as we go about how to make new links. These are pre-made for you. If I highlight travel and I look in my properties inspector, the properties inspector, by the way, is also right here under window. It's one of the really key tools in Dreamweaver, right under window, properties. In my properties inspector, when I highlight the word travel, I can see that I've placed a link here previously to travel.html. Again, all lowercase, no spaces. Please, definitely no spaces. Numbers are okay on there. Numbers are fine, but no spaces. Travel.html. So that's why I'm being a little persnickety about my save as name. So I'll have this interest page. I'll save it as travel.html. And I'll save it into this same root folder that's on my desktop, yourname_1b. Travel.html. There we go. And as is the case with a save as, it looks just exactly the same as the page that I saved it from. So I want to go into travel. Oh, the tabs are really cool, aren't they? So you can click on these tabs in Dreamweaver and display each page, as you go. And so you can have 4 or 5 or more pages kind of at the ready here, ready to switch back and forth. So beware which one you're on. It says on the tab travel.html. It says that up top here in my Dreamweaver window. Now I want to change up some things. Rather than interests, I'll call it travel. Rather than titled My Hobbies, I can call it Places I'd Like to Go. Yeah, Places I'd Like to Go. Maybe a cap P and Places. Places I'd like to go. And then I can highlight this text and talk a little bit about, write a little paragraph about someplace I'd like to go or someplace I've been. And once you do that, then you'll want to save, because having made some changes and not saved, up in my tab, I get a little asterisk. This is a great thing to watch for in Dreamweaver. It's a real quick visual check to show you what you've saved and what you haven't saved. I think there's also something in the module about changing out the color, the background color. There's a couple of ways you could do that. This blue-gray, this kind of dark blue-gray in the background, that one you can change under Modify Page Properties, like so. And there's our background color. I can change that out to any of these, or you can, if you don't like these web-safe colors, you can click on that again and get a color picker. We'll also talk more about web-safe colors as we go. It might be a really great discussion for the online guys in the discussion area, or face-to-face. We could do that in class. And you could customize your color quite a little bit by doing this. Now, it may or may not display properly depending on your whatever system it's displaying on out there. But you can change out the color that way. Now, what about this sort of yellowish box here? These pages are built with little boxes that are called div tags, div being short for divider. And you can find out where you're at here. If you highlight a bit of text, it'll show down in the bottom bar of Dreamweaver, oh, here's the P tag for my paragraph. Here's my div tag for content. That's for this little box that actually has the typed content. The next one up is the box for container. That's the one that's containing all the other boxes. That's where this sort of yellowish background is. So let's look in our CSS styles, and we'll look for container. Sure enough, there my background color is specified. If you have a style selected in this CSS panel, by the way, the CSS panel is available under Windows right there, CSS Styles, Windows, CSS Styles up in your Dreamweaver menu. If you have a style selected in this CSS panel, you can click on the little pencil icon to edit that style rule. And there we could choose a different color for a background, for better or worse. That's kind of dark, maybe, I don't know, maybe something along that line. We'll see. Yee. So change out a different color. Hopefully you're changing colors that go together a little bit better than these do. That will be the challenge before you. And you can save that, and then we'll preview that in the browser. Comes up right away in this case. If it doesn't come up looking new, if it looks like the old stuff, hit refresh or reload in your browser, because your browser may be dealing with a cached image or an image that it kind of saved from before. History, interests, food, travel. Fantastic. And those are all working well because I've managed my site and because I've put them all in that same root folder. See, there's my new travel page. Now, you may have noticed in the images folder, I have another little photo here. Maybe, say on your history page. And what was our history page? It was index.html. And I can hit my tab up here in Dreamweaver and find that. Maybe on your history page you want a photo of you, or not. Maybe on your travel page you want a photo of someplace you've traveled, or you want the rings of Saturn because you'd like to go there. Find that image, save it out as a JPEG, and hopefully it's kind of a smallish size, or if not, there's some ways to manage that. You can look up optimize in the index of your book if the image size is a problem. But you can go up to your paragraph and maybe hit return to give it a space to be. That'll be the way that we'll do it for this assignment. Again, there's dozens of different ways to put in an image, and we'll talk about many of them during the course. This one will work for now. Place your cursor someplace where it's below or in between some of the type, and then go to the Insert panel. And again, all these panels are available under the Window menu. Here, right up top, we get Insert. So go to the Insert panel and get Images. Now, it might, if you click and hold on these, there's a number of choices here. It might say Image Placeholder, Rollover Image, or something else. That's not what we want this time around. We want just plain old image for right now, just plain old image. Click on Image, and it'll say, okay, where do you want me to find this image? Oh, and look what it did. If I've managed sites correctly, it will quite likely go to my root folder. And it'll say, okay, John, you want me to place an image? I'll go to your root folder. Let's find it. And you can say, okay, Dreamweaver, it's in my images folder. Double click on that, and there it is. And I also know that I've managed sites correctly because I get a nice short URL here, images/somephoto.jpg. If you have not managed sites correctly, it'll probably say something like user/such and such folder /this folder /that folder /yourname_1b/images. You haven't managed your site correctly if it's doing that, because it's going to write a big long link here, and then when you move this document to a different computer, or worse yet, when you put it up on the internet, as we'll do eventually, it's not going to know where to find this image. So we want a nice short URL. And it's telling the browser, hey browser, from this page, go find this folder. In that folder, go find this image. And this is something wonderful that Dreamweaver does. It asks you for alternate text. And you'll type in something, a photo of your name, if it's a photo of you. Alternate text is plain language. Spaces are fine. Upper and lower case is fine. There are folks out there who have trouble seeing or can't see at all. And they may not even have a screen on their computer. It may just be an audible reader. When they open up your web page, if you don't have these alt tags on there, that audible reader is just going to say image, 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 image. They'll scroll down your page. There might be 20 images on there, and that's all they're going to see. Well, guess what? If it doesn't make any sense, they're just going to leave and say, heck with you. And in many places that you work, it is the law that you provide this information, like our good old ACC website. If we're not doing this, we're in violation. So you'll want to get in the habit right from the start of putting alternate text in here or an alt tag by your image. And here's my goofy image that I had in the folder. This is a photo of somebody, and I've named it as such. When I click on it in the design view of Dreamweaver, it'll highlight that in my code view. And it says there's a P tag here. That was when I hit return. And there's a tag that says image source equals, and then it says, oh yeah, go to the images folder, get some photo.jpg. Gives me the width and height. Oh, there's my alt tag. Alt equals photo of your name. And if it's your photo, type in your name. If it's Rings of Saturn, type in photo of the Rings of Saturn. You get the idea. And I'll save that. And let's preview that in the browser again. So here's my history page. I will have typed in a couple little paragraphs, something about me. Interest, same. Text about hobbies. And any of these you can put in some images as described in the module. And as I just demonstrated. Food, you can type in a little text about some kind of favorite food of yours, travel, same story. So I want 4 pages like this that link to each other, much in the way that I've set up here. And you can change out the color, you can put in images, read the module for those higher level requirements, and look at the references in your book. Again, if you have problems with the size of your image, look up optimize images in your index of your book. There's a great page that tells you how to go about doing that. And we'll have an entire module dedicated to optimizing images because it's really, really important. But for this assignment, we'll go easy on that part. Mostly, just get these 4 pages managed under Manage Sites. Tell Dreamweaver where you're going. Tell it what you're doing. Just like you would with your loved ones at home. I'm going out for this long. I'll be here, there, and everywhere. Call me on my cell phone. And we will see what happens when these are all turned in. Good luck with the assignment.